"We don't watch this trash in this house. You should learn some class," my mother-in-law snapped, slamming the remote down in front of everyone. Laughter erupted around me. I froze and looked at my husband, hoping for support, but he only smiled. That's when I decided something had to change. My name is Jessica Miller, and I'm 34 years old. I work as a hospital receptionist, a steady job, but not glamorous by any means. I married into a family that cared deeply about appearances and social status, where image was everything and humility was rarely praised. My mother-in-law never missed a chance to criticize my background, my job, and even my personality. Over time, my husband slowly started siding with her, subtly at first and then more openly. I always tried to keep the peace and prove my worth, believing that respect could be earned through patience and quiet perseverance. Growing up in a small town, I learned resilience and the value of hard work. My dreams were simple: a loving home, stability, and a family that valued honesty over appearances. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. My quiet nature and careful observation made people underestimate my strength, and that misjudgment would become my advantage. If you've ever felt underestimated because of where you started, hit that subscribe button. I want to hear your story in the comments. Have you ever stayed silent to keep the peace while everyone else judged you? Click hype and let's connect. Things escalated fast that evening. At a gathering with extended family and neighbors, mother-in-law loudly called me embarrassing, claiming I had lowered the family's image. My husband didn't object. Instead, he said, "You should try harder to fit in." Gasps and laughter filled the room. I was shocked, humiliated, and my chest tightened as gossip rippled through the guests. Later that night, my husband cornered me, demanding I change my behavior and appearance immediately. He threatened separation if I refused, and my mother-in-law added he deserves someone better. In the living room, I overheard them discussing the family accounts, controlling money and assets, making plans without my knowledge. It hit me that they had been hiding financial details for years. That's while I discovered evidence of questionable practices in their business, something illegal and carefully concealed. My mind raced, realizing that the humiliation wasn't just personal. It was part of a much larger deception. The betrayals kept coming. First, I was excluded from family decisions and gatherings. I discovered they had opened accounts and financial plans without telling me, completely erasing my voice for matters that affected us both. Second, mother-in-law spread rumors about me being unstable, causing friends and distant relatives to avoid me. My husband pressured me to sign legal documents without explanation, and when I refused, the tension escalated. Third, they plotted to force me out of the house. At a small family dinner, I was humiliated again, laughed at for my opinions and choices. But I began observing carefully, noticing patterns in their speech and actions. I started gathering information quietly, understanding that their arrogance made them blind. Each betrayal strengthened me. I realized they believed I was powerless, naive, and silent, but I had been watching, learning, and planning. What they didn't know was that I had been paying attention for months. I had recorded conversations, saved emails, and kept documents that proved illegal tax and fraud activities in their business. I learned to document every detail carefully, storing copies in safe, hidden places. I had a plan they never saw coming. I waited for the perfect moment while letting their arrogance grow, silently preparing emotionally and mentally for the confrontation that would expose them. Each smile they gave me felt like fuel for the storm I was about to unleash, and I knew the time to act would be decisive. I reached out to a former employee of the family business who had been wrongfully fired after discovering corruption. This person shared crucial documents and insider knowledge that confirmed the illegal activities. They became my secret ally, helping me understand the full scope of what I was dealing with. Meanwhile, my husband openly discussed divorce, and my mother-in-law celebrated as if she had already won. They believed I was defeated, quiet, and powerless, but I remained calm, knowing the right moment was coming. I prepared for a private dinner they were arranging, designed to pressure me into submission, but I had my own plan. Tension hung thick in the air as I walked into the house that evening, ready for the confrontation that would change everything. The confrontation happened in the family's living room. My husband and mother-in-law demanded I leave, insults flying as they mocked me yet again. I stayed calm. I pressed play on the recordings. Their voices filled the room, admitting to fraud and manipulation. Panic spread across their faces as I revealed copies had already been sent to authorities and lawyers. The ex-employee arrived with legal representatives, confirming everything. Mother-in-law tried to manipulate, begging for mercy, but I responded firmly, "You taught me how to survive in this family." Their power crumbled instantly, leaving them facing both legal consequences and public exposure. I had turned their arrogance into my weapon. I walked away from the marriage and the toxic environment with my head held high. I rebuilt my life, focusing on peace, dignity, and emotional healing. I reflected on the lessons I learned about boundaries, self-worth, and resilience. The family faced investigations and social consequences, while my ex-husband regretted losing me. I felt stronger, confident, and free. I finally understood that respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you protect. Have you ever been embarrassed or disrespected by family? Share your experience in the comments below. Subscribe for more stories about reclaiming dignity and standing strong. You deserve respect, and your voice matters. Click Hype to help the story reach others who need it. Did this story hit home? Like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Click Hype to help others who face the same pain find the story. Your support ensures these experiences are seen and heard. Thank you for listening and being part of this community. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. If this story touched your heart, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories about resilience, dignity, and quiet justice. Because some lessons don't come with applause, they come with peace.